Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
Welcome to What's on Tap Podcast, your weekly beer review show. I am Stefan.
I'm your host, Martin.
And we have two beers that you have been spelunking and deep into the depths of your cellar cave, your man cave.
Is the man cave my cellar with the beers?
It is.
It's a very sad place.
It's not like a fancy man cave. It's more like a cave in the literal sense that you are storing things in the proper temperature like you would in the olden days.
No joke. There are multiple families of spiders living there. There is so much cobweb.
I completely believe you.
But I have the bottles in different boxes, so
yes.
the bottles are safe from the spider infestation.
Yes, that's really good.
So yes, I searched. I love the word spelunking. I searched for two old beers, and I found two of them, and they both have particular reasons why I brought them. And the first one we're going to try is Cascade Brewing's Blueberry Ale from 2015. So it's 10 years old. And we always complain about Cascade. They're too sour when they're fresh. So, how about the 10-year-old one? I've never had a Cascade beer this old.
Right. And what's fun is the other beer you brought is from Bruery Terreux, which is also just a real sour farm. It's It's two real heavy hitters in the pucker region of beer drinking. So I've had Cascade many times in the past, and I will say that while everyone was like, "Oh my God, Cascade, I love it," I'm just like, I'm good. I don't need to drink anymore. I've never been a huge fan of theirs. I think they're way too sour, and I think they've always tasted a little dusty, even fresh. So, have I tried this before? Did you look to see if I tried this one? There may not be a historical rating of like a 2015, but I'm pretty sure I've had this one before, the Blueberry Ale.
Let me see.
I know you're really good about checking these things, and I'm not so good about checking these things.
I mean, for the one with no vintage on it, there are so many people who have checked it in. So let's smell it first. Right. I will do this research.
I mean, it smells good. It just smells
a tiny hint of berry. It doesn't smell very acidic.
Nope.
When you poured it, it had some foam, and that foam basically disappeared.
Yeah. The carbonation is kind of waning on this, which is not a surprise. They're not really overly carbonated beers to begin with. So let's get into this. But it's really light. Technically, it's a blend of wheat and blonde ales aged in oak barrels for 12 months.
Whew.
All right, still sour, huh?
It's still sour. Wow, Matthias had this in 2013, not the 15. He had the regular unvintaged one.
Whew.
He gave it a 5 then, just so you know. The 2015, 19 people. That's a lot.
It is a lot. I will say this might be the best it's ever tasted.
Yeah.
There is a bit of a funkiness to it, which I quite like. I don't think it was really prevalent in the younger versions because they were so aggressively sour that you didn't really get a chance to try anything other than that.
Exactly.
But it has kind of the more it opens up, it gets a little jammier, a little fruitier smelling in the nose.
I am surprised at how well this is holding up. I thought it was going to be either a dusty mess or still a sour mess. But
I would say it's probably the best Cascade I've ever had.
You didn't have a check-in either for the 2015 or for the non-vintage one. You may have tried other vintages.
I could have swore I've tried the Blueberry before, but who knows?
Yeah, but maybe you checked it in as a particular vintage, like the 16 or 17 or 18.
We can look later. I would say this is so my first takeaway is I don't think blueberry sour ales are really a thing that should exist. I don't think they really have much flavor. I don't think they really add anything. I don't think blueberries really add anything to anything. Like when I think of the Cantillon Blueberry, that's a notoriously overhyped beer. And then when I tried other kind of blueberry sours, I never get the takeaway of ooh, blueberry. It's always just kind of it's a sour beer.
Some kind of fruity berry flavor.
Exactly.
If I were to blind taste this, I would not be able to pick out blueberries. I might say,
I would say black currant.
Yeah,
or maybe blackberries or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. Or even cherry.
I don't think I would give cherry. Cherry is a little more distinct.
Yeah, but aged cherry kind of loses that.
But you usually have some other notes in there that kind of help pull it apart. Right. Whereas this would be very much along the lines of, like I said, a black currant or just currants in general or a blackberry or something like that. Which I think is not bad. So I think I'm going to give this like a 4. Nice.
I'm right there with you. A 4 that I didn't expect to be giving out today.
I was really like, this is going to be like a 2.5, 2.75. Yeah. So I guess the takeaway is if you have old bottles of Cascade, just let them get a little older. Because this probably, I would say, 5 years from now, it'll probably still be pretty drinkable.
Yeah, maybe. I don't have any more blueberry ale, but I have a few more from this era. Mm-hmm. So I'll bring those up some.
There's still a lot of life in it. The carbonation, while not super high, again, never been super high. Carbonation on Cascade beers still is there. It's got a nice zippy kind of tangy, citrusy notes to it. I think it's pretty good.
A surprising cellar dig.
Yeah, very much so. So next up we have Bruery Terreux.
Sounds Pagaie from 2017.
Yes.
And the reason why I brought this is that Stefan has actually had it.
Right. So this is a sour blonde ale aged in oak barrels with cherries.
Yes. And he had it in 2018, and I have specifically asked him not to look at his old rating. We're going to be making an experiment today.
All right. So let's just see what I think today. Now, again,
it doesn't smell that much.
The Bruery Terreux beers, I think, are just wildly unbalanced and completely sour.
Yes.
So to try something
8 years old.
8 years, 8 years old. 8 years old. I think I have higher hopes for this. When we originally poured this, there was a lot of carbonation, and it formed a nice thick white head on top, almost like a meringue looking.
There's a little bit of cherry jam in the nose.
Yeah, I do get cherry nose on it, which is really a good sign.
This probably has some potential as well. Yeah, let's try it. Cheers. That is not as good as the Cascade one.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Again, still a real kick in the teeth. This could go another
10.
This could do 10 years easily. But there is a lot of cherry in the flavor and in the aftertaste. I'm getting a lot of cherry in there.
Yeah, right now I'm really regretting saying that. Oh, the blueberry one, I could guess cherry because it's so distinct. The pits, the almost, I would say marzipan-y cherry pit flavor. This is really mouth-watering, whereas the Cascade wasn't.
I'm having to pause after I've taken this drink because I'm afraid I'm going to start drooling or accidentally we call it when you accidentally kind of salivary gland's going to spit a little bit. Yeah. I'm afraid that's going to happen because it's so aggressively sour still. I would say it's not as much of a kick in the teeth as it is when it's fresh, so it has calmed down a little bit, but it's got a lot of calming to do still.
Did I say that you had this in 2018? Mm-hmm. You had it in 2017, the year it was fresh.
Oh. Good Lord.
So this is when Stefan still used to go to what was called the Brewery Bonanza, a bunch of beer nerds who gathered, and everyone brought three
bottles of brewery.
And everyone had to bring different ones.
That was 3 liters per person of brewery beers.
Yeah.
And if you're not familiar with brewery that much, they do not make low ABV beers. Although their stouts are 13% and above.
Exactly.
And their sour beers are usually somewhere in the 6 to 10 region, I think. I'll give this now, and then you tell me what I gave it in 2017.
Yes.
I would say today I would give this a 3.5.
Yeah, and in 2017 you gave it a 4.75.
Wow.
At the same time as Matthias gave it 3.75, and you comment, bitch, you crazy.
Well, you know what? It all checks out.
It all checks out. You are not agreeing with each other. And it was bottle number 9 of that evening. So
early in the day, so...
But very possible that you had something not great or something extremely strong just before it. When you do...
Oh, yeah, there's a very, very high possibility that what we had before was some sort of 17% barrel-aged stout or something.
Yeah. Because when I saw that, I laughed a little to myself and I said, that has to be highly contextual. There has to be...
there has to be something around it that makes it give you that rating. Yeah, I would agree. I can't imagine giving it that kind of rating now.
No, I'm going to give it 3.75. And funny thing is, I've never had this one.
Okay, wow.
It's just been lying in my poor old cellar, waiting for a reason.
Well, you have 20, 30 bottles in your cellar?
20 brewer bottles left. That's probably a good estimate.
You mean start bringing some of those out? Because I guarantee you, some of those barley wines are going to get real minty.
Yes. But it's so stupid because I started to almost collect them in 16, 17, 18 in the hopes of being able to join you at the brewery bonanza, and then you stopped going to them, and I was stuck with 30.
What happened was Matthias quit going to them, and it was kind of my in, and I didn't really know those guys very well. I didn't really feel comfortable going without him, so that was just what happened.
So I started to stock up on them on the off chance that I would also get them in. Stefan is making... This is where it's really sad. This is a podcast and not a vlog, video.
Took a big sip there. It really gets you in the back of the teeth. Oh, that hurts. My jaw's still clenched. Oh. Wow.
But the problem with old brewery beers is that our particular little beer group, all of the beers have at least one check-in from one person. And if I'm trying to bring out rare or fun beers that no one has tried, they're all invalidated.
Well, see, that's why I think that you're setting the bar too high. The bar isn't to be... You always have to have rare beers. It's to share beers with your friends in a way that we can all appreciate. Because there's been a lot of times that I've been like, well, I don't really have anything. I see 3 of you checked it. That's your problem, not mine.
I know.
So if one person has tried the beer and 4 of us haven't, I would say... that person can just be like, I'm good, I don't need to have that beer again. Or they'll be like, oh, I love that beer. I'm really excited to try it 5 years after I tried it last time.
But I have so many beers that are rare and none of you have tried. So I'll bring those out before. And that means that
that's what I'm saying. You don't have to always bring out the rare thing. People will still be very excited to try a 10 Lords of Leaping.
That's interesting because that's actually one of the
while it still has a possibility of being fresh, than trying 10 Lords of Leaping in another 3 years, and you're just like, ooh, that's straight up toothpaste.
10 Lords of Leaping and 9 Pipers Piping were 2 of the bottles I looked at when I found this one. Funnily enough, those are the only 2 brewery beers I have from their Christmas song series.
And that Christmas song series is quite old, so I think it's time to start bringing those bad boys out.
This is true.
All right, well, we'll wrap it up here. Thanks for bringing these. This was a lot of fun. It was a fun experiment.
But such a shame that Sans Pagaie had dropped so much from a 4.75.
I cannot explain that rating. I cannot justify that in any way whatsoever. I can't imagine, like you said, there must have been something right before that was really dark and heavy, and then this was just a breath of fresh air after. It was probably the first 8 beers were all dark and heavy beers, and then the 9th one was not.
Could it be that someone in the group was bashing it so much that you wanted to make a point?
No, that would never happen.
No.
It's a bunch of strangers. I mean, this has probably been the first year I went, so there are a bunch of people I don't know and so I would not have felt like I had to defend someone else's choice.
So many mysteries.
I know. Yeah, it's so weird. So you can find us online at What's on Tap Podcast, Instagram, Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, and wherever you find podcasts. You can find us. So until next time,
keep drinking in downloads.